This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Call to order. Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a regular session meeting of the Easthampton School Committee. We are going to roll call in. Drum roll. Bonnie Atkins. I'm here.
Yay!
Megan Harvey.
Megan Harvey here.
Eric Guyette.
Eric Guyette here.
No, did you turn them on purpose? No, but they were nice. It's fine. Laura Scott present. Linda.
Linda Markey here.
Sam
Hunter here.
Mayor.
Present.
Excellent.
I'm wondering why you were sitting in the dark before going. I never remember them being so dark.
I prefer the dark, but we are being filmed, so I suppose we need the light. All right, we are going to begin under the guidance of our newly elected secretary, Eric Guyette, with announcements.
No gifts, and in place of Walter Baker, we have Jess Atkins for a student rep informative
Excellent.
announcement.
Just take it away.
Okay. So on February 12th, there is the mobile polar plunge coming to Easthampton High School. So this is a event to fundraise for the Special Olympics of Massachusetts, who are the partner of Western Massachusetts and also mainly Massachusetts Association for Student Councils. So basically they bring this big truck, they fill it up with water, and then you jump in the water. So there are 7 teams from EHS that are participating. This will happen during the school day on the 12th. So EHS Special Education Department, the class of 2026, the class of 2028, Drama Club, Easthampton Boys Soccer, EHS Music, and Girls Varsity Softball. So there's more teams to come. Our goal is $5,000. We've already raised $1,000 from doing no advertising at all. And then the student council would also like to formally invite every single member of the school committee, the mayor, and the superintendent to come and jump in cold water at
Who did you invite?
everybody.
What time is it at?
It is at, so you'd come during the public time. The check-in for that is at 2:30 p.m.
What day is this?
This is
February
on
12th.
February 12th.
Thursday, February 12th.
2:30, I'll be there.
At 2:30. I'm in.
And then the plunge is at 3:15.
I'm sorry, is the plunge outside?
In a
Yes.
truck.
It's gonna be cold.
Yeah.
Regardless
not
of
in
where
the
it is,
pond,
it's
though.
freezing.
But
No,
the
it's
pond
in a big
happens
truck.
2 days later.
Oh, it does. Okay.
I'm not jumping in the pond.
They call it Bear Force One, the big truck. that
Okay, I
has
like
water.
that.
amazing.
I like that.
Okay.
I'm in.
We are muted.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
note
Have
that
the
we're
city
muted and they can't
councilors
hear
also
us.
been invited?
On that,
Um,
Laura, your laptop unmute.
Got it? Is that better?
hello?
Yep.
Yes, okay.
Okay, great.
City,
We'll see if we're.
Have all
if
the
it's better.
city councilors
One more
also been
time, let's
invited?
just recap that. The mobile plunge is Thursday.
February 12th.
February 12th. So the public schedule for that is 2:30 check-in with the program at 3 and then the plunge at 3:15. So everyone at this table is invited. Local businesses, if they choose to make a team and raise some money, they'll also be able to participate. And then also, I don't know, yeah, but we're also going to invite some more people and maybe the city council. That's a Walter question.
Oh, if we're doing this, the city council.
The city
So we
council.
have-
Oh, that's
okay.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what
That's a
I'm
great
saying.
idea.
This sounds like executive session talk. I'm kidding, that's a joke. That's a open meeting law.
Stop it. Oh my God.
Let's see.
I
So.
cannot.
Kicking off the
This is when you
thing.
have to control her.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
Walter Baker is officially in the runnings for Massachusetts Association for Student Council President.
Wow.
So he's at March, he's gonna.
Yeah, so that's March 4th through 6th. Voting will happen at the spring conference there. And then on February 6th, there's the Western Massachusetts Association for Student Councils Roundtable at Blue Bonnet Diner. So I think it's probably around 100 people come together and we all have a little discussion surrounding a few topics. And then Unified Bocce, the tournament for that is on January 25th. That is a Saturday. So we have a unified bocce team. I think it's been talked about previously, but the tournament for that is on the 25th, I believe. Anyway, that's it.
That's great.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Jess.
Thank you.
Henry, do we have an update from Mountain View?
Yes.
Great.
Tomorrow, January 14th, the 7th grade is going to a UMass women's basketball game,
Nice.
and that's going to be fun. And I'm not part of it, but before winter break, the school fundraised a cereal box Domino's fundraiser, and they donated 700 boxes to the community center.
Awesome.
I'm so supportive of this. Free Loops for everybody.
I saw the video, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then in February, I'm not sure of the date, the whole middle school is going to see a Shakespeare play, Hamlet, in Lenox, Massachusetts.
Get out of town.
That's awesome.
Grades 6 through 8?
Yeah,
You're gonna see Hamlet?
I'm excited to see that.
It's one of Shakespeare's best. That's great. Hot take, right? No.
And then Miss Capin's 8th grade civics class, which I'm not in, had a congressional hearings with Mrs. Brown, and I'm not really sure, like, a lot of stuff that happened, but
I think this is like a spin-off or sister program to our We the People program at the high school. Yeah, we're getting in there.
My son was there and he said it went really well.
Excellent. So it's constitutional law practice, right? They
Yeah.
talk about like all the different, yeah.
but yeah, that's it.
Great. Thank you, Henry. Hot things happening at Mountain View. All right. At this time, we are going to open the floor for public comment. If you're interested in sharing your thoughts and you're here in person, you can come to the podium, or you can raise your virtual hand if you are joining us remotely. We're going to give just a minute to see if anyone joining us is interested in sharing their thoughts. Okay, seeing none, we will close public comment at this time and move on to the superintendent update. Superintendent Balch.
All right, we are excited to have our EHS Media Club here. We are joined by the advisor, Miranda Bazansky. We have with us Marley Nelson and Lexi Martinez. If you could come, you want to show the video first, and then you want to come talk? All right, awesome. We'll show the video first.
All right, and that's me, right?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Okay, it's a good start.
MVP, Megan, way to go.
Media Club, a place to express your voice, document school experiences, and interview your favorite teachers.
All right, what's your favorite part about working at EHS?
My favorite part of working at EHS is working with the kids. I've had made so many relationships with students that students I had 10, 15 years ago, I still stay in touch with.
Once you've learned to use these fancy gadgets, you can get permission to take them out and document things happening in our school community.
Why did you make the Diverse Leaders Club?
Because we have different voices here in our school. So what we decided to do is like create this club to actually add these students, minority kids, LGBTQ kids, and neurodiverse kids. So all kinds of diverse people that we have in Easthampton High School to be part of our club. So the doors of the clubs are always welcome for everybody.
We want to hear your voice and see your creativity in action.
Media Club, Wednesdays at 2.
Killer. Awesome. All right, if I could ask you guys to come to the podium to talk a little bit more about the work that you do.
And if you don't mind, just run us through your first names again, because I might have missed that part earlier.
Okay, my name is Miranda Buzansky.
I'm Marley Nelson.
And I'm Lexi Martinez.
And yeah, I just started at EHS this year. I'm a new paraeducator, and I took over advising Media Club from Stephanie Carr, who is one of the... Sandra Carr, yes. who's one of the special education teachers. And I think in her last year, she had applied for and received a grant from the Easthampton Learning Association to purchase a bunch of new camera gear, a switchboard, some tripods. That was actually then, we had started to begin to form a partnership with Easthampton Media, which is our local media organization, and they helped us get all of that equipment and figure out what was needed. And now we've kind of begun a new partnership with them where we have an intern coming in, who I believe is here.
Jackson.
This is Jackson, our intern, who has been working with our kids to figure out how to use this material in more detail and achieve some of their goals, which I think they can share some of what we're about and some of what their goals are for the future. Yeah?
Welcome to the district, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm Lexi again. I am a newer member. I've only been in the media club for a couple weeks now. But I was there for one of our first bigger things that we've done. We recorded something for the Diverse Leaders Club where we recorded their movie night. We got a couple interviews. It was super fun. And we also have future plans to record the musical that's coming up.
I was going to give you a shout out for the soft promo. That is artful, Lexi. Well done. Annie this spring at EHS, everybody.
We're also planning on doing some more interviews and advertisement for other clubs that we have at our school, like the cooking club, the D&D club, drama club, stuff like that. And over the last couple of weeks even though I haven't really been in media for that long, I'm slowly learning to really enjoy and media, learning how to use the tripods, the cameras, and things like that. I'm just slowly like falling in love with like the art.
Awesome. Lexi, do you have a preference? Do you like the sound side? Do you like the audio side? Do you like the performance side? Have you found your groove yet, or are you still kind of feeling well out?
I kind of like more of the sound and the acting side, being in front of the camera and also being behind.
Awesome. Awesome.
Right. Thank you.
And I believe we saw this face on the video.
Oh yeah, you did. I'm Marley Nelson, and I was the first actually to join the media club, and I was basically the one who's been editing the videos for a while because, well, we had nothing else to record with but my phone. And I am actually pretty good at editing videos, so I just thought, hey, why don't I do it? And I gotta say, it's actually really fun. But then it gets, when you actually start getting criticism, it's a little hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I gotta say, it's actually, it'll probably get much easier now that there's like more people joining and we can all work on it together as a group. Especially, it'll probably be a little tricky because we only get an hour a day together. But I think it's actually going really well so far.
Awesome.
And I've had a really good time. I was at first not really sure if, I've heard about Media Club before I even joined a little bit. And then Miss Miranda was like, hey, why don't you join Media Club? And I'm like, okay, I'll stop by and see what it's about. So I stopped by on Wednesday. There was one other person, but she didn't really stick around for a while, only the first day. So it just ended up becoming me. And, it kind of just played out that way. I'm not really sure what else I could say.
Marley, do you have kind of a favorite? Are you still filling out the different aspects too, or do you have kind of a favorite lane yet?
I'm not really sure. I just kind of go with the flow with whatever I'm doing. Yeah, I don't
Jack of all
really
trades.
plan it. I just go with it.
But you do
That's
have
all.
some big film production and directing dreams of the
Yeah.
future, so this is
I'm-
definitely
yeah.
some good experience.
I'm hoping to maybe,
Bless you.
do it as a career in the future, maybe a filmmaker or director. Because this
Amazing.
is something I really do like to do. I didn't, I tried many other things, but I'm really sure this is it. So
I have a
hopefully
friend,
this goes somewhere.
I have a friend in Los Angeles that makes movies. He just put out his first movie with Mel Gibson, and I'll have to get that information
He's still
too.
acting? Well, we'll say that for another day.
Yep.
Listen, Marley, Stranger Things is over. I need a new show. So get to cracking.
I'll hopefully
pressure.
think of something in the future. That is if I can actually think of something.
You'll
You
do
never
it.
know.
You'll get
You'll
it.
do it.
You'll
We
get
have
it.
faith.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
having
This
us.
is really
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Awesome.
We will be calling on you. We are not tech savvy, so we
As you
appreciate
can
your
see.
support.
I was gonna say, I just wrote down some notes. I would love to get in touch about the playground.
yeah, like
there
a
could be some
promotional
really
thing
great,
for
if you guys are willing.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
be
good.
in touch and maybe we could do some cool promos for that's a little down the, take pictures, that's
Alright.
right. Yeah, see if you like where this is headed and then you
Yeah.
can decide.
And
That's down the road, but that could be really cool.
And I would be really remiss if I didn't say this has been like one of my really hoping to have a relationship between Easthampton Media for the 2 years that I've been on. This is what I've talked about a lot, really getting this core, and I hear there's really great equipment out in Mountain View too, so being able to expand this. I'm really, really excited. So you're going to probably see me Wednesday at 2 few times.
It's actually switched to Monday because.
Oh, Monday.
Yeah, some of the members do drama as well, and that's a
I prefer Mondays, thank you.
Let's just hope I don't have the Monday blues.
Yeah, this is very, 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 I think this is great. Thank you.
Excellent work. Thank you so much to all of you. Are we gonna move to Ms. Bai?
Yes.
Now? Great,
Yes.
wonderful.
We invited Heidi Bai here. She is going to provide us with a middle school pathways update. Ms. Bai works with she's a counselor at MBS, and she does the heavy lift on our career technical programming and our career exploration pathways. So she's here to provide a little bit of an update. We had introduced our new middle school pathways policy at our last meeting, so I thought it was very timely that she join us to give us a little bit of an update on the work that's happening currently in our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and how we promote our CTE vocational programs, and we do some advising on career pathways for students.
Hi everyone. I get really excited talking about careers. I get really info dumpy and nerdy when it comes to it. So I was really excited to hear that this was now a big part and encouraged in my school and at Mountain View. I've made, now this is my first time using Google, so it's gonna take a little while. I made a little slideshow of just what I have done so far. Come on, share. Is it working?
Yep, you're good.
Oh, great. Oh, good, fantastic. Okay. So, 6th grade, I just think about myself when I was in middle school, and if somebody asked me what kind of lifestyle I would want versus what I wanted to do when I grew up, I would have two very different answers. So in 6th grade, I go into the classroom and I talk to them about career facts and myths, and also lifestyle choices. Would you rather have a job that you are inside, outside? Would you rather travel? Would you like a job where you're at a desk all day, or do you need a little bit more chaos in your life? Those kind of questions, just to get the juices flowing. I had my first lesson with them last week, and it was a lot of fun. And then for 7th grade, I'm gonna go into health class 2 times. And in one class, I'm gonna introduce them to Zello and do a career exploration code assessment with them. And then following that, in addition to that, I have some guests coming in to talk about their careers and why they chose their career. So this is the guest for this year. I have an aerospace engineer, Stephen Bai, Lauren Chalanda, she is a senior applications analyst at Bay State Hospital. Ryan Nash and Kelly Rodrigue are going to join together, one school counselor, one school psychologist. So they're going to talk about the difference between those two careers, even though they're similar. Jennifer Abbott, she's a college professor and an academic advisor at Fitchburg State University. And Dr. Nicholas Breezy, who's a plant pathologist. And in 8th grade, in addition to doing what I usually do with students, I also am, during scheduling, going to open up evenings for parents to drop in. They have step-up day at the high school. They're offered open houses to visit EHS Smith and CTEC. We have the high school visits to school. So there's a lot of things. It's kind of interesting to notice as I was making this that in 5th grade they see me, very little, but each year they get to see me more and more. Does anybody have any questions?
Oh, Megan, was that a question?
No, that was just
okay.
Nothing.
Anyone? This is so excellent, Heidi. I have the benefit of both of my kids have been supported by Heidi, and both adored her and just found her If she doesn't
Oh,
have the
thank
answer, she
you.
finds it. Yeah. Heidi's a superstar. Ms. Bai is a superstar. We're very lucky to have her.
Oh.
And what I want to point out to the public too is that I never see you rest on the laurels. I think you do great work every year, and then the following year there's more layers and more depth and more nuance, and it's really to be commended.
I don't want to take away any time from students in their classroom and from like teachers or anything. Like I know time is precious for us all. So I just try to introduce things every year, little by little. And if it is met with resistance or if there's any difficulty in terms of time management, then I kind of step back. But I definitely want students to be starting to think about these like careers and who they want to be and not just who they are now, but who they can become. And it's going to change. It's going to keep on changing because a lot of people don't get the opportunity to have these discussions at such a young age.
Yeah, that's awesome because a lot of times the kids are learning about things that they're maybe not as psyched about. So when they can hear about real life applications and how it's relevant to them, you probably find they get a little bit more engaged with you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's really important also to talk to our young people about like, it's those things, what do you want to be when you grow up? Say like, what kind of difference would you like to make in the world or what kind of adult would you like to be and not make it into like a box, like what kind of job they want. I know when I was in middle school, I wanted to be an environmental engineer. And then I had somebody say to me, do you want to be outside all day? And I was like, ooh, I don't like the cold weather. No, like those little things.
Yeah.
And Sam.
I'm just curious, what do you generally hear from the students? Like, what are they interested in doing and being?
Well, I think it's funny because it's very different in 6th grade versus 8th grade. In 6th grade, I hear a lot of students who really are interested in like YouTube, video games, professional sports, like their hobbies, making their hobbies into reality. And then in 8th grade, they start to get a little bit more like, this is what I noticed in the real world. This is what I noticed, this is what I see. In 6th grade, it's kind of more like, if they could have any job in the world and press a button, they say that. But in 8th grade, they start to think a little bit more about what will be the best outcome for them financially, emotionally, socially. Like, do they want to travel all the time? Do they want to be like watched all the time? Like, do they want to have a family? Those kind of things start to play in a little bit more.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, this is especially even as somebody who's middle-aged, it feels like there's no such thing as too much exposure to all the different kinds of jobs and employment there are. It's just so. That's work we can continue every year.
I really took benefit during COVID to have like once a week, different people, I called them career chats.
Yeah.
And I had a different person come in once a week on Zoom and students were like, it was completely optional, but I did like a little raffle with them. They could get a gift card to Bueno Isano. And it was just like somebody just to talk about their career. Because I tell students, ask adults questions. Adults love to talk about themselves.
Very true.
No way.
Do you ever have conversations with them about how the job that they might end up with doesn't exist yet? Because I think about when I was
I do bring that up. I bring that up because I say when I was in middle school, we never had smartphones. And now look at how many jobs are wrapped around smartphones and cybersecurity. And I also talk to students about like you have to kind of be on your toes because there are careers out there that don't exist anymore, such as like milk delivery and stuff like that.
Yeah. I have one more question.
Yeah, of course.
Are there like suggestions that you have for parents for how to have conversations with kids about what their adult life is going to look like, or places for parents to go to kind of help? Because I feel like as a parent myself anyway of a 4th grader, I'm realizing I'm like maybe not quite as ready for this part as I thought I was going to be, and so I was just kind of thinking kind of what's out there for the parents.
I have a 3rd grader myself, and I actually was thinking about this before logging on because it's especially at that age, it's very interesting. It's so different as a counselor versus as a parent, but I had the conversation with my daughter earlier. She's really big into K-pop Demon Hunters right now, and she's like, I want to be a pop star. But at the same time, like, I say to her, when she says that, I'm like, that's really cool. Like, what kind of activities do you want to do right now that will get you stronger with that? So she signed up for circus and she's doing chorus.
Oh, that's so
and
cool.
I'm encouraging her to get involved with things that will help her. Like, she's young. I'm not going to say, oh, you'll never be a pop star.
Right.
Or never, like, I don't want to discourage it. But I want her to have her explore activities. Like, I even say to my son, who collects baseball cards, and he's in first grade, I say to him, like, you're so good at organizing and learning that. Like, that's really cool. And when he gets older, maybe he might work a job where he doesn't have to organize data or spreadsheets. And like card collecting kind of transitions into that if you think about it.
Right.
So I think really encouraging people, if they want a certain career, like what kind of hobbies they can find. And I tell students, like, get involved with hobbies, have hobbies, no matter how silly or mundane you think they are. Like, even if it's just like collecting stickers and organizing them color coded, that is giving you a career skill that you'll have in the future. Little things like answering the telephone or even making a takeout call instead of using an app like DoorDash. Those are our skills that can be used in a career.
But I think that's what I've been thinking as I've been listening to everyone, is for someone like me, I've done many things. And many things since, and the things that I went to college for, and what I've done later, and I'm thinking of what was the thread that went through all that is that I was a theater major with the education, I'm a communicator. So I've always been working in things that use that skill set. So more than even what do you want to be, what skill sets are you developing, who are you, that will take you the different path, well, that you'll bring yourself through your path. And so I think that's a really good.
I agree with that. I think the skill set is so important. So like, I also tell students not to think about the stereotypes around certain jobs. So I know my husband's going to say this, let's even buy the aerospace engineer. He's my husband, and he loves talking to students about his career. He also does coaching, so he's really great with kids. And he does a great job explaining to young people, like, you have this stereotype that engineers are like just good at math, just good at data, but he's like, the people skills and the writing skills are so important. So you have to think outside of the stereotype of a certain job too.
That's really cool.
Anyone else have any questions for Ms. Bai?
I want to add something because I know in my family we had an extraordinary experience with you, and pretty much weekly, our Jess was meeting with like one other student. And
that was the most fun I've ever had in my job, is meeting with Jess and the other students, because they're just like they're so into it.
Totally, and it was like it was like I think Friday mornings. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Friday morning, she was like, I absolutely have to get to school today. It's Mrs. Bai, and they did like some of the assessments about interest, about careers. I mean, it was really a full communication about careers, but also about who they are as humans. Like, you did an amazing.
Can take advantage of that. Like, I can definitely make time for that. It could be one meeting. It could be every week, just like I did with those two students. I absolutely love just discovering who people are and having people discover who they are. I had a high school teacher who told me I would be a school counselor, and I chuckled and laughed at her, and it's like, now here I am.
Here you are.
You're excellent, Heidi, you're excellent.
Very lucky to have you as a
you.
resource.
Anyone else? Well, I think we are going to wrap this up. Thank you again, Ms. Bai. I think we are going to move along, and I look forward to hearing more from you maybe later in the spring as we keep expanding our communications with our young people about all those options for the future.
Great.
Big world of fix.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Heidi. And just an update, we did submit our our first draft of our middle school pathway policy. I got feedback today, so incorporating that, so that'll come for a second read to policy.
Excellent.
Good feedback? Like it's good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just a couple small little things.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Great.
So we jumped around a little. I think now we are at the point for the superintendent entry findings.
Yes. All right, I'm going to share my screen now. Let's see if I can be as smooth as everybody else.
Are we 3 for 3 tonight with the screen sharing?
I really feel like having the media club here was like a good luck.
Yeah, those are the charms.
And
No
Jackson was
pressure.
saying, yeah, and Jackson.
Jackson's left.
He was up there working before we started.
All right, great.
Wow.
You know what, I'm going to stand at the
Okay.
podium
Perfect.
only because I'd like to see everybody.
Can you make sure when you're over there, Michelle, that mic is on? Sure.
That's a great question.
I know. All right.
I think it's just
All right, great. All right, so tonight I'm here to present some of my entry findings. So I kicked off sort of the superintendent process with hosting a series of listening sessions with community members and really getting deeper, getting to know family and community members through individual meetings. I did about 13 community listening sessions with members of the community, with administrators, with staff, and then I had 45 smaller group meetings. And what I'm presenting to you this evening is some of those findings that came out of those conversations. But not only, the conversations were a very important part of this, but also we administered a student survey with our partners, at CES partners. That survey was developed by the Equity Committee and launched to really get a sense of student belonging. So we had really good survey participation. So I appreciate all of the staff making sure that survey became a priority to help me incorporate that into that student voice into these entry findings. I also did a series of classroom visits with administrators, learning walks, and again, the surveys kind of put together a picture of these entry findings that we're going to take a look at. So a really important part of the entry findings was collating all of the notes. So dumped all of the notes into a file and coded those notes and took a look at what were the most frequently used words in those conversations. And I was really impressed at the 4 words that came out the most. And I kind of bucket them into these core values. So we haven't had core values as a district. So I feel like they truly represent not only the voice of the community, but who we are as a district. So our core values are centered around learning. Right? We are a teaching and learning institution, not just for students, but for our staff, for ourselves, and for the community. So really excited to really focus on learning and how students learn through those high quality experiences. Belonging came up consistently. In knowing that when students feel like they belong, they're able to access learning and to build those relationships and to strengthen our community. It also helps us build trust when somebody feels like they belong, stronger trust building relationships. So really excited that, that is something that we value as a community and that was shining through in these interviews, in these listening sessions. Equity was also a major component of the conversation, and not only just for our historically marginalized students, but for our students with disabilities, low-income students. The true compassion of the community in talking about equity across the district was so apparent. And then shared responsibility, the willingness of our community to step up and make sure that we don't feel like we're doing it alone as a district, and that people are willing to help and that we're willing to listen and allow them to enter into our schools and become a true partnership. So that was something that, was really exciting. So I take a look at this and it just puts a smile on my face because I really feel like we nailed it and we did it together, and these were the most frequently used terms and commitments. So I think we've landed on some core values that really speak to who we are as a community. Moving along to our mission and vision, as I stepped into the leadership role, there has been great work that has happened before I got here. And this vision and the mission on the left is the vision and the mission that is in our strategic plan. It was worked on by administrators and educators and community members. So I think it's really important to honor that work, to build on that work. So to the right, you'll see a revised mission and vision, but it's centered around, our incorporating our core values, talking about those high quality, equitable learning experiences, our inclusive practices, so that our students can lead the full lives and our commitment to them. In our vision, again, the same thing, just making those small changes, but that signal and represent our core values. So I'm really just very grateful for everybody taking the time out of their busy schedules to hang out with me for hours and to share their thoughts and their feelings, because it was such a great experience for me to really learn who we are and to help develop that, because I think it's important to develop your identity as a school district. And this is a major step forward for us. Some of our district strengths. Every single one of our listening session, the parents and the families talked about our dedicated educators. Parents were talking about the experiences of their kids with dynamic educators who cared about them. Every single listening session. And that really struck me. And that is a strength. We need to honor that strength. That makes me so proud as a superintendent. You know, we might have some varied experiences, but overall, our educators are deeply committed to caring about kids. There is that strong sense of community pride, family engagement, and the opportunity for some extracurricular activities for our kids. You know, we've been doing these showcases, and a lot of the showcases are talking about clubs and experiences for kids. It was very clear that people want Easthampton to be successful and that they are proud of the schools. I mean, just take a look at the facilities that our students are in, and everybody talks about our gorgeous schools, our caring and committed educators, and our great students. We have stable staffing, and that's something to applaud, right? We have a lot of our staff that have been here for 10, 20 years. So we have a committed, stable staff. So I think that is also something to applaud. We have a lot of very active school-based organizations, PTOs, school councils, clubs, advisors, just different programs. We have ELF Foundation. We have community partners helping us out along the way, and that makes a huge difference. We also, I heard a lot about this improved communication, and that work started before I got here, so just acknowledging that. And
Jean
parents,
Libby just left the meeting, which is a shame, because this would have been the perfect opportunity to.
Well, that Parent Square implementation has been a game changer, and I think it's the start. I think we still have more work to do, but it is a strength, and I think everybody in the listening session recognized that and celebrated that. So really proud of, those are just, that's like the tip of the iceberg of the great work. But I think, when we're talking about terms of community involvement, who we have in our buildings and the work that we're doing to communicate those expectations, this is a really strong start. Now I'm going to enter the findings, right? So the major topics that are going to help shape our strategic plan. So there are in the report, which will be published online. It's a lengthier report, it's 10 pages, but in that I think it helps in there is some data points, which I think is really important. There are some quotes in there to substantiate those findings. So if you're on the call and you're hearing sort of the high level PowerPoint today, I'd encourage you to open up the report, because it does include, I think it's really important to see how these themes coalesce and are triangulated with the voice of the student staff members and the data points. But the first really big bucket of work is the teaching, learning, and engagement aspects. So, when our first level of work should be teaching, learning, and engagement, right? What are we teaching? How are we teaching it? And how are students receiving that information? There is a strong commitment to learning in the district, but we expect to see some changes in our data, right? We have adopted a new CKLA curriculum that's going to take a little bit of time, but we are slowly going to move the needle on instruction because we have to. Achievement and engagement declined a little bit during the middle school, and this is not something that is specific to Easthampton. This is a trend that is happening across the nation, but when you know better, we do better, and we look at the data, and we're going to say, okay, what do we need to do to make sure that that doesn't dip when we get to middle school, right? Is it more hands-on learning opportunities? What is it that our kids need, and what can we provide? we have a real chance to an opportunity to strengthen our instructional coherence. And I think that's the part that makes me so excited about having a pre-K to 8 school. And I think that's one of the things that is, it's a challenge. It's been a challenge opening up the school and getting these different cultures and school communities to come together. But it's a real opportunity to see what happens from pre-K to 8 in one building. And how do we really move the needle? And it's a good opportunity for us. So looking at coherence and rigor and how the grades align when students transition. And students said that they're really engaged when their learning is meaningful to them. So how do we create those real world learning opportunities for kids and provide them with clear expectations? I think it's a really important work that we have to do in professional development. What are we expecting kids to know and be able to do at the end of a lesson? So getting really clear on that, particularly for students. Another big sort of finding is around belonging, climate, and well-being. Henry.
So an example of lessons that go to the real world.
Yeah.
Last year, one of my favorite and last math projects I did was called The Real World, where we chose a job, we looked at incomes, and we learned how to live. And it was this huge project that we did, and it was amazing. And my mom was so happy to see this learning.
Yeah, those kinds of powerful experiences make the difference. And our middle school math data really reflects that hands-on real-world learning. So I think that's something that we see across the district. So our middle school math is definitely a strength for us. In terms of belonging, climate, and well-being sort of being the next sort of bucket of work, elementary students, the survey, right, they said that they have strong feelings of belonging and connection. And that's something to celebrate. When kids feel like they want to be at school, they feel like they are loved at school, and that they're connected to not only each other, but to the educators, that's so powerful. And you can feel it when you go in there. It's something incredible to see. So really happy about that. And students said it, and it's in the survey results. But we're also,
Does that feel, you've been in your prior employment, you're in a district that had you've been in a million elementary schools. How is that different in the elementary level specifically? What, is it something specific to Easthampton, or is Easthampton in a smaller?
I think students know that teachers will do anything and remove any barrier for them, and accept them for exactly who they are when they walk in the door. And I do think that is different. There is, they're just seeing what they're wearing and how they're showing up to school, and all these different personalities walking into the school building, and they're showing up exactly who they are, and they're being appreciated for that. And I do think that's different. They're feeling confident in who they are. And I can see that in the school. And I think that is something unique and worth celebrating. And that we do see that varies a little bit more, again, in middle school and high school. They're tough. Middle school, adolescence, it's tough. And we do see, a little bit more healthy skepticism in our middle schoolers. So just to acknowledge that. But when we're clear about what we expect from kids and what the expectations are, it definitely helps.
Do you see, when we talk about elementary to middle to high school, are we seeing that kind of positive sense of belonging? Are we seeing that going like this? Or are we seeing that go like this? How?
Yeah, I do think it's a dip and then it comes back up.
In later years of high school.
I think the 11th and 12th grade kids they feel like they're a force. They are, and you can feel the camaraderie, I think. But I think it's like the adolescent trying to figure out your own identity. So when you're struggling with that, I do think that kind of spills over.
We want to laser in maybe 6 through 10.
Yep.
Okay.
I think, I think 6th to 9th grade are the toughest years for kids. And when you get them to ninth grade, when you get them past ninth grade to 10th grade, they're in the maturity level increases. But what do we need to do to help bridge that, right? We don't want to see that dip. We want kids to feel like they're around trusting adults and that they belong there.
Right.
And I think, there was some talk about the consistency of adult response, right? So how are we ensuring that we are treating all kids equally, that, we are enforcing our policies, that we are enforcing our practices? And I think that's something that came out in the listening sessions, and that's something we need to strengthen, to be really systematic and to make sure that we are being fair, because kids notice when you're not. So I think that's something that came out. And kids said belonging is really closely tied to their behavior. And when they feel like they belong, they want to show up every day, and they will show up in the best way for you. But it's some of the reasons why behaviors escalate is because they don't feel like they belong. And then that impacts learning. So we need to address all of the things. And that's why, a strong MTSS plan with tier 1, 2, and 3 is really important.
You're familiar with that, Bonnie? MTSS is a multi-tiered system of support. Do you want to give her like a thumbnail?
Yeah, so tier 1 is what all kids get and all kids should be receiving. Tier 2 is some kids get some, whether it's an intervention, it's an additional support, it's maybe it's small group instruction, maybe it's a quiet conversation. And then tier 3 is sort of, the smallest group of students who need more get that. So tier 1 is what happens for all kids, expectations for everyone. It's, the high quality instruction, it's the social emotional learning, it's the bullying prevention work every kid gets. So then it's wraparound too. It's not just about learning, it's about social, emotional, it's about learning, it's about behavior. So it hits all 3. But it's tiered because not all kids need it all of the time, and you can move within tiers, right? Tier 2 isn't something that you stick with. It's like a scaffold. It's meant to help you when you need it, and then it comes away. And if you need it again, it comes back. And there's a great analogy about a dental. Novak did it. It's a dental analogy. Like everybody gets a cleaning. Some people need the cavity and the filling, and then some people need major dental reconstructive surgery. But and it's not like they happen in isolation. You're still getting your cleaning while these other things are happening. I'll send you the video. It's a really great video that breaks down MTSS.
Well, and I think it's interesting because in my work, typically, outside of school committee, I'm often called in most often for tier 3.
Yes.
So nobody's talking about the tier 1 and the tier 2 because by the time I've walked in the door,
Yep.
they've tried everything.
Exactly.
Yes.
So tier 3 is usually the fewest number of kids who need the most.
We're so glad you're here, Bonnie.
That's great.
I feel like you already know what tier 3 is. All right. Communication and family partnerships. Families value that schools are welcoming. And we heard that from a lot of the families. They feel like they can go into the school, they can communicate, particularly now with Parent Square, that they sort of have an ability to connect with a teacher when they need to, and that the staff is really responsive. And again, celebrate that, right? If you feel, you feel like an email doesn't go into the never hear back file is really important. And I think, there are both strengths and opportunities for growth, right? Parents were talking about them, and we still have a lot of work to do, and we're going to do it, but it's going to take a little bit of time. But again, these are our initial findings. The clarity and consistency of communication did vary, right? So some teachers were communicating more than others. Some grade levels, they got a little bit more information. This year we started to send out monthly curriculum updates, which I think has been really important and helpful for parents. What are we learning? What's happening in the class? All at the elementary level.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Pre-K to 8, we're sending that out. And again, talking about that clear, proactive communication, right? And when do we communicate with families? We shouldn't just be communicating when there's a problem. We should be celebrating. And I think that's an important part, and that will be, part of our strategic planning process, those positive interactions with families, and because we need them. And if they're not aware of an issue that's happening at school, then they can't help support us. So it's really incumbent upon us to close that communication circle and make sure that parents are aware of what's happening at school.
I want to put a button on that because I've been here forever. And when I first started on school committee, the idea that we would have been talking about one of the problems in the district is we don't have enough positive, celebratory communication with families.
Yeah, it's a big change.
It wouldn't,
It's a big change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what?
Go Easthampton. That's progress.
From what? No, from what? Because
Everything was triage.
Everything was
just
everything was an
crisis,
emergency.
money, reduction in force, problem, MCAS.
And so now okay.
Yeah,
I follow
yeah.
you now.
Like, not only is there attention to that, but there's also bandwidth for that, which is
The monthly curriculum updates are
really great.
Really great. And they're also it's not a ton of information. It's just a couple of sentences, but it's great.
Right, it's like insight into the classroom,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
what is happening? You ask any kid, what did you learn today? I don't know. Or like, maybe you'll get something about something. I'm like, thanks. It's really, just that communication is so important. We just started our Eagle Assistance Program back up at the MBS. We're piloting in our K-1, right, bringing parents back as sort of parent, so they're Eagle Assistants, and there's a cute little acronym for it, but bringing parents back into the community to support our students. So we're starting that in K-1. We're going to get some feedback to expand every year because that, it kind of went away during COVID, but
which was the same time as our transition. So it left families feeling really naked and exposed and unsupported. They weren't, but you feel that way. So
Yeah. And, any opportunity that we can connect with our families more, we're gonna look into.
Wonderful.
So, and the last sort of major finding is around equity and access, and we do see some gaps. And just acknowledging those gaps, these gaps are pretty persistent, particularly for our students with disabilities, our English language learners, and our economically disadvantaged students. So we have some work to do in that area. And if we're gonna say we believe in equity, then we need to close those gaps because that's what gaps represent, inequities that are occurring in your district. Those disproportionalities increase during middle grades as the content gets harder, as it gets, you're talking about, the academic vocabulary and the rigor and the reading, it all increases. So, those challenges sort of, it's like when you start with a bad cut and then or a trim piece and then the gap widens and by the end you're like, how did this gap become 5 inches wide when it started this? We need to make sure that it's that MTSS work, it's that tiered work that we need to focus on, that intervention work to create those stop gaps for kids.
You're really increasing the career and pathway readiness too. We've talked about the dental field. We're now talking about carpentry. It's just really on brand. Excellent work.
All right. And some of these differences they come out both in some of our policies and practices. So they're systematic inequities, right, that we're seeing. And then I think equity, teachers are focusing on that instructional equity, but how can we do it with intention moving forward? All right, so what's happening moving forward? These findings are only the start. And what we're going to do is we are creating a strategic planning committee. So using some of these findings, the strategic plan is going to be our roadmap. What's going to happen in the next 3 years? What's going to happen in the next 5 years? And what are we going to prioritize? This merely represents, the voices of the community. It's, the good work is about to start. And I'm really excited to lead that strategic planning. And I think it's, again, another opportunity for our community to weigh in on what's happening in Easthampton and how we can improve educational outcomes for our students. And so I would encourage anybody to sign up. We'll have a a random, I love my random lotteries. We're going to do a random lottery process for members of the Strategic Planning Committee. So excited to lead that work. And I'm going to continue to do listening sessions, continue to engage with families and communities and opportunities for reflection. I think that's so important. Know better, do better. And then we're going to continue to develop our goals, particularly looking at learning, belonging, and equity. The immediate next steps will be to create that strategic planning steering committee, strengthen our relationships with the city, and develop a comprehensive school budget aligned to our priorities. So that's our next big bucket of work. I think, there's a real opportunity, a new superintendent, new mayor, to become, real partners in this work. And I'm excited to do that with you, Mayor. Thinking about our staffing, class sizes, our program of studies, AP opportunities, and special education programming is going to be part of our strategic planning work. And it's going to be work that I continue to do to identify the real root causes. I've looked at the data, but I think it takes a little bit more time to really identify the root causes of some of this. And does our special education programming truly meet the needs of our students?
Right.
And are we staffing it in a way that meets the needs of students? And again, continuing to support the district priorities and our school improvement goals. So those are our immediate next steps.
Dr. Balch, do you have a timeline in mind for the Strategic Planning Steering Committee, or should we kind of prepare the public? Maybe we'll have more information on that at our next meeting.
Our next meeting,
Perfect.
I'll
Yep.
show up with a timeline.
Perfect.
I really need that work done by the end of the year so we can kick off 26, 27 with
Perfect.
a 3 and 5 year strategic plan.
Love it.
Did you hear that?
It makes me so happy.
So nice.
Can I,
Yes,
say
Bonnie.
something? I just want to go back to something you said, Dr. Balch, which is that you said the good work will now start. The good work has already begun. Like the ways in which I was present at many listening sessions, the ways that you heard people and you validated and you really paid attention to what people were talking about, not only directly but indirectly, the nuances of what that was. If someone didn't want to necessarily present sort of negative, complaining tone, you still heard what they were missing and what they hadn't received. And that was in every session I was at. I really heard that. And so I think the good work has truly begun already. And the fact that you are engaged in really a very transparent process allows people to trust what we're doing here. And, the level of transparency is really important. We need to do work on things. We need to really attend to a lot of different things that make Easthampton schools truly the best they can be. And so, I'm not correcting you, but I really don't want you to minimize the extraordinary work you've done.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to say one other thing, because I can actually say it
You
here.
can say it now, Bonnie.
Right? I got a lot to say. But your participation with Julia at the Municipal Academy, where I was last night, was really amazing. I mean, if you think about community members and city councilors being present, you are doing that work of really letting the community know what's happening. And the detail of your presentation, both of you, was amazing.
Thank
Truly.
you. Yes, and I didn't do this alone either. Everybody donated their time and energies to making those listening sessions successful. Jean Libby showed up every single time with me. So I'm so proud to have such an amazing team, and even community members who came out for me and came out repeatedly. So
That was a top-down response, Dr. Balch. That was a top-down response. It's good leadership.
Yeah. I will echo that. So many people spontaneously just come up to me and tell me that they've been to a listening session, and the things that they've been telling leadership for years that you heard them and acknowledged it. And not that other leaders haven't in the past and that we don't, we haven't had great leadership, but just the this is sort of what you said about the achievement gaps, just the acknowledging of the experience that has been had. So there's something so healing in that, that people will just, and that says a lot, because there are people for a couple of years who came up to me spontaneously and said very different things to me about the superintendent stuff, right? And so now people are approaching me and telling me how great this experience has been for them. So I just...
A vibe shift, you might say.
You might say.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think it's the quality that these people feel they're heard?
Yes.
They may have been heard before.
Yeah.
But that didn't come across to them. And it's when we actually look at others and they know that they've been listened to.
And authenticity.
It's the authenticness. And that, she's just not saying words. She really means this, or our school means this, or this means, because let's face it, in these times we all have to be very authentic.
Kids will figure you out real quick when you're not authentic.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Sam?
I just have a question. So I came to one of the listening sessions as well, also found it to be a really great experience. One of the things that folks who came to those sessions might have noticed was that you were taking notes the entire time by hand, which I thought was very impressive. And I was just wondering, is there some kind of, somebody from the community actually asked me this, I thought it was a good question. Is there a system that you used to put all those notes together and pull out those keywords? Is that is there a name for that? Or?
Oh no, this is some old-fashioned.
This
This is some old-fashioned work here. I was gonna. So I use in vivo in my doctoral program, which I did not do. I dictated those notes back into Word, and then I started highlighting.
Wow.
Because I'm like, I could put this into ChatGPT and have the themes identified. But I think there are some real nuances in some of the words, and it could have been, some of the themes could have been interpreted some ways. So I really wanted to make sure I went through it. And I had Jean double check my my note taking, and I had leadership take a look at it to make sure that we're kind of on point, because that's an important part too. I also believe that, people make mistakes, and this is important work to me, and I wanted to make sure I had as many eyes on it before I presented it to you. So I did some coding, but just good old fashioned.
That's awesome.
Highlighting coding.
That's
nice. How God intended, Sam.
I just wanted to circle back to what you talked about in the beginning about really thinking about the strengths of a pre-K through 8th building. It just really struck me as you were saying that, because we've talked about it, not as a deficit model, but we've talked about the challenges of moving to that building, and it's so hard to have little kids with the big kids, and it's really puts it on its head of what are the strengths of that, and how do we really build those in? And it got me kind of excited to hear the consistency between grades, and I don't know, I'm sure this is part of the plan, but having elder kids working with the younger kids, all of that seems like so much pride in the school building that
it's such an opportunity.
Yeah.
And it eliminates transition for kids, right?
Yeah.
They know what to expect when they walk in. And if we're clear about our expectations, that's the next level, right?
Yeah.
So how are we consistent and clear with our expectations for students and how they show up?
When you said
Jess,
that...
did you have your hand up? Oh, sorry, Amanda. Jess, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jess.
I will say the student voice committee on the student council is open for any surveys or anything that needs to be asked to the student body at EHS.
Great. Are you gonna? If I put you on it, I know it's gonna get done. You're gonna set up your table. I know the survey will be administered.
I wanted, Henry said something as you were talking when you were talking about the dips and the whatever, and he leaned over, and what did you say to me about working with the high school kids? What did that make you feel like? Because because in 7th grade he got to do athletics.
Track, right?
Yeah.
You're on the track team for the high school.
Yeah, and it was very cool, seeing all the high schoolers and how they're so responsible and so grown up, and And then I realized that I'm like not that far away from like them.
Not.
Only a couple of years.
And you know what? When a fourth grader looks at you, they say,
They
wow,
say the same
he's so grown up and responsible.
Dr. Bosch.
And that's what I
Well
thought,
said.
that whole thought when you were talking about that, and it's about intergenerational learning, or, I mean, it's the same type of thing that we're talking about. So, to be able to use that, because again, I've heard the negatives about, oh, we got the little kids with the big kids, and we got this and we got that. But when you can turn the culture into being that we have this, and they help this, and the nurture, and the growth, and the mentoring, and it's a really nice thing. And then Henry told me that, and I was like, yeah, you're right.
Great now.
Yeah. And how can we leverage that, right, as a model?
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
That's great.
And Laura, that report, is that gonna be, that's already on our website, right? Or it's up on the.
I will follow through with that tomorrow. It was sent to all members, but I can make sure that we have it posted more broadly. I'll communicate with Jean tomorrow.
Okay, because I just want to make sure anybody who has watched the presentation should probably read the report, because you see about the sort of people who would be into that. It is really, really well done and well written. I really enjoyed it.
I'm going to piggyback on that, Sam, because one thing that we're looking at, and Melina is here with us tonight, beginning in March, we do expect to be delivering a more accessible product every time we meet regarding our minutes and our presentations and reports that might be attached and things. So we are going to work, we'll have a new executive assistant to the superintendent and the school committee beginning early in spring. So that's going to be one of the first things we're going to tackle, is just to deliver that more efficiently, which has been something I meant to do over the past 2 years and haven't yet. So that is a 2026 project.
Maybe we can loop in with Jean and see if she can, once it's posted, share it out, because I think people wanna-
I think it would be good, because it's
Every meeting we say this, we got to get this up on the website. We just need to do
want
it.
to see this.
It's also just like, it's really well written, it's accessible,
Yeah,
it's not
it's
something you
great.
have to be like, have a doctorate in to read, like, I think it's just a good, it's the sort of thing where I was like, wow, I wish that we had more like this in the past to compare it to. It's like a good kind of description of what our district is right now. I really appreciated that.
Thank you. Well said. Thank you. All right, we are going to move on. Julia Franks, our Director of Business. Oh my God, I forgot that. Megan, Director of Business Services.
Business Services.
Do you like that title? Should we change that?
Oh my God.
It's fine.
All right. Feels a little clunky to me, but we'll workshop it. All right.
I can take a survey of my colleagues and we can get the list of all the different titles.
A bag of free candy. We're going to need a new job. Okay.
I'll give you some suggestions.
Excellent.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, in your business packet, got some materials there for your review. First thing first, the FY25 end of year financial report was successfully submitted to DESE on December 12th. We met that deadline. It is off of my desk and into their universe, which is great for all of us. Included in this packet is a summary report. There is a 3-page document that outlines every dollar that was spent by us through our general fund budget, through grants, through revolving funds on the city's behalf. That's the summary report of every dollar that was spent in the district in FY25. As required by law, an outside firm will audit our end of year report. It's the same firm that will audit the city books. That audit usually happens sort of concurrently between those two, because obviously things that happen on the city side impact our side and vice versa. When that audit is complete, a copy of that audit report will be provided to the committee, as well as any audit findings that are part of that and any corrective actions that we may need to take based on that audit. Our current FY26 local appropriation report, according to data in KVS as of 12/31, 48% of the local appropriation has either been spent or encumbered. Attached in your packet should be a Q2 report, right, which includes spending up through December 31st of 2025. So now we can start talking, using 26 now in our brains. Grant updates. Easthampton Public Schools has been awarded some grants. First off, I wanted to give you an update on the fair share earmark. At our last school committee meeting, you voted to accept the funds from that fair share earmark. 2 passenger vans have been ordered through Marquardt Ford. They have been scheduled for production, and we are hoping to receive them either towards the end of March or the middle of April. Right, so we look forward to seeing those being able to be used for student activities, for athletic transportations, for field trips, for small groups, and that is going to be a great resource for the district.
Remind me, Julia, how many, there's 2 different sizes. What were the 2 passengers?
There's a 15 passenger van and a 12 passenger van. So they're the same size model. One of them doesn't have the last row of seats.
Yep.
That way it can accommodate whether it's sports equipment, musical instruments, things like that.
Great.
Yep. Another grant is each year the Easthampton Learning Foundation, otherwise known as ELF, invites proposals on an annual basis from our community for various types of activities, initiatives in the district. This year there is a review process that goes through, and they have awarded 17 projects with funding totaling $37,715 to support events within the district. So you'll see one of your action items in new business is to propose a motion to accept that ELF grant funding so that the educators in our district that were awarded those grants can start putting those projects into practice.
Thank you for that language too. It just makes everybody's life easier. I appreciate you.
You know me. Try to make your lives as easy as possible here. Last item on my business report is the personnel report for the month of December. Right, we have several new hires in the district. We're continuing to bring on new substitute teachers, new administrative assistant at Mountain View, new educator at Mountain View, and we have filled that substitute custodian role that we have talked about.
Yeah.
Yep. Did have one separation. On your report, it notes that there are 2 paraeducator vacancies at EHS. We are in the process of onboarding one of those positions currently during January.
The tightest management of personnel I've ever seen. It's so good, y'all. It
really is
Yeah.
something.
Well, thank you.
I think it also speaks to people wanting to work in our district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all around, great.
Any questions for me?
It's not a question, I just want to highlight, and I'll say it again when we have finance meetings, but as you so greatly explained in this first point here about the end of year financial report from last fiscal year, the city and our district works intensively on the budget and on the end of the year report and tracking where all the money goes. And then it is standard practice that an outside agency is also auditing. So just as we are thinking ahead to budget season, and there's been thoughts swirling in the past of like, how does money get used? Is everything really super efficient? I mean, this is tracked, as you just nicely laid out for us, so well. This is a tightly run ship from multiple angles. I'll keep reminding folks of that.
No, I think that bears repeating as often as possible, especially
we do
with some of the ways, I think, not outside of Easthampton, just kind of our national conversation around around funds.
The necessity.
There's nothing more
oversight.
tightly watched than school money.
Yeah, I can't imagine how we would further watch the money.
Yeah.
It is.
We are right on track for spending.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Yeah, I will say, as much as a challenge, might even say pain in the whatever it is to do the end of year report, it is really nice at the end of year to have this 3-page summary that shows you sort of exactly where your dollars are spent. And there's sort of a saying within my group of professionals that, you can tell me what your goals and priorities are, but if I look at the numbers, I can show you what your goals and priorities are. Right, so that end of year summary really sort of shows us where we are putting our resources, both in terms of personnel, in terms of spending, in terms of time.
In action rather than rhetoric.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's just like this parade of incredible individuals that just comes to us every meeting one after another. And
I like this one.
Bathe in the glory. It's wonderful. Okay.
Exactly how I'm feeling.
We're going to move on to school committee discussion. All right. Sam, you want to kick us off with the policy subcommittee update as the outgoing policy chair?
The policy subcommittee committee update is that we were supposed to meet yesterday to elect our new chair. But I had, I'm dealing with some medical issues. I completely forgot to schedule this meeting. That's completely on me. I apologize to everybody. So we're going to pick another date and fix that in the next week or so.
Okay, great. So our next meeting is the 27th, so maybe we'll have a
Before
date
then,
by the
yeah.
27th.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
but we'll be ready.
You think
for the
you'll
next
you think you'll have met by the 27th?
We'll have met by the 27th.
Wonderful. Okay, great. Finance?
Finance.
Dr. Harvey?
So the work will begin in earnest on the subcommittee side of things. The work has begun in earnest in our business services. But we have 4 meetings scheduled, and we have determined that we will use all 4 of those meetings to discuss
Okay.
various aspects.
Okay, I thought I saw that in
Yes.
the email. So the tentative meeting we should lock in.
It's locked in.
Great.
And I was just gonna check and see if those are posted yet. The agendas are submitted, so they should be posted soon, if they're not already there. Monday, February 9th at 3:30, Tuesday, February 17th at 4 o'clock. And again, this will be in minutes, and then also these agendas will be posted on the city website. Monday, March 2nd at 3:30, Monday, March 9th at 3:30. All of those meetings will occur in the conference room right behind me, and they are also hybrid, so you will be able to join in a variety of ways. And then in a regularly scheduled school committee session on March 24th, Tuesday, March 24th, 6 p.m., that is when the public hearing will be. So please come to those meetings, come to public speak. If you can't, for whatever reason, come to a meeting in person or join hybrid and you would like to send the committee your thoughts via email, please participate, tell us what's on your mind as we are working on this.
Great. You highlighted all the points I was gonna hit. Thank you so much.
Got it.
CES update.
Tomorrow
We're in a transition, one might say.
Yes, so I am the outgoing CES rep. We're going to be changing, hopefully at our next meeting. It'll be Linda.
Be at our next BBS.
Oh, well, we'll be switching at some point.
In
to Linda
February.
being the CES, in February. That's the Collaborative for Educational Services. We are hiring a new executive director. I was on the search committee. We did 2 days of executive session last week, interviewing the preliminary candidates, and we've narrowed it down to 3. And so now there's the final interviews are tomorrow night.
Sam, are those finalist names public?
Yeah. They are public. Do you want me to say them?
Yeah, only if they're public.
They are public.
Okay.
Or
you don't have to. If
I
you
just
don't-
want to make sure that I say it exactly right.
Okay.
I'll come back to that part. So anyway, we're meeting tomorrow to do the final interviews.
Okay.
And then ideally, if all goes well, we'll be voting on the new hire.
Tomorrow is a Wednesday, so by week's end, we would think they should be able to.
We should know pretty soon, and then hopefully that all goes super smoothly, and I'll just come off of CES, and then I can focus more on the policy, so I won't accidentally space and not schedule policy meetings for when I need to do that. But yeah, so.
And Linda's gonna bring the thunder beginning in February.
What was that? Oh yeah, bring the thunder. Yes.
Are you feeling good about the candidates, Sam?
I am, yeah. No, I will say we had.
Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe we don't need to slam the two who aren't going to get hired.
Let's just leave it for now. It's all public. You can come to the meeting tomorrow. Anybody who's really interested, if you want to come and watch 3 job interviews in a row. But everybody who applied was super qualified. It was just a really great group of people. Again, I really like participating in hiring committees in general because you get to just learn a lot about other people and other parts of the country or the world, or in the state and the country. In this case, with people coming from outside of Massachusetts for a couple of the applicants, it was cool. And the 3 finalists I think are great, and I think any of them is gonna do well, and I think it's gonna go good. I don't have any concerns.
Great.
So.
MVS Playground update.
Yeah, we have a first draft of some proposed plans.
Saw that.
Which is very exciting with an estimate. And that's new as of last week. So we're kind of transitioning into, this is a draft. So we have meetings that need to be scheduled still. I'll hit you guys up real soon with admin, with the mayor, and just sort of see where we want to land with that. And then the task is really grant funding.
Right. What's the timeline for CPA funding?
So we have the application. We are on their list of projects that they know are going to come their direction. They have been very supportive, so we're pretty excited to see the possibilities there. And so there's a couple of different options of, do we start thinking about this in phases? Do we think about multiple different grants and putting them together? So we've been sort of in a smaller group phase for a while, but we probably in the next month or two will go back to like the full committee after we have something solid to bring to them, to start looking for like community input on grants.
Why don't you tell me at what point you think it would be appropriate to host like a town hall style presentation at the high school?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yep. But that we'll want some
Yeah,
advance notice
yeah.
just so we can prepare for it, but I
Yep.
think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, Megan, I had a question, because
Yeah.
I was kind of involved at this at the beginning and then kind of stepped away. I wish I could I might be able to step back in some. But are you still looking at doing any at the fundraising from the community, or is it all grant funding, or how are we looking at raising the funds?
We're thinking about that, but we're being really thoughtful about what the landscape of finances and education are right now.
Okay.
And what asks we're going to
Yeah.
be making of our community to just fund.
Well, again, I was involved when we were just
services
throwing
at our school.
stuff up against
Exactly.
the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. So
That's what they're
nothing is
working on
ruled
figuring
out,
out.
but we're just,
Yeah.
we've had some great meetings with Dr. Balch where, we just really brainstormed like what is an appropriate and feasible and thoughtful way to gather money for this that doesn't impact our first priority of the
Okay.
education budget.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
How's that for a non-answer?
That's a non-answer, but I'm assuming that people could give money somehow. They could figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
There'll be details on that, yeah. And the larger group will come back together soon, but just getting sort of it buttoned up on the admin level, making sure that Dr. Balch and MVS leadership feel really good about it, and the mayor, that's sort of the next hurdle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Megan. We just want to remind everybody that Megan created this out of a puff of smoke and a handful of children who came to present to us about
And Jackie,
drawing our attention
Gina
to this
Lewis,
issue, and Megan
hero.
is run
And
with
Megan,
it.
I've had several of those kids come in the little
Yeah.
shop and tell me, we're the ones that started it.
Oh,
We came.
No, they were great.
That's first and foremost, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to move along to action items. So Eric, I'm going to hit these highlighted
Yes,
ones, and I'm
indeed.
going to leave GHIK for you. Okay, great. All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read out that I will entertain the following motion. So what I'll be looking for is for someone to say so moved, and then I will be looking for a second. You ready, Milena? These are gonna be very slightly out of order because I'm just doing all the money ones at one time.
And are we doing the elf one too?
We are. Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve the school payroll dated December 11, 2025 in the amount.
What? I thought you
Okay,
said
in the
it.
amount of $671,130.81.
So moved.
Thank you, Linda. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, very quickly, can you two do that same arrangement
Yes.
for every motion to make Milena's life easier?
Now, unfortunately, Milena can't see us, so.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
She can hear.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain?
Thank you, Eric. Eric abstains. Thank you. Okay,
Eric,
next.
for those who are new, Eric
Yeah, New
abstains.
Year. My wife is a teacher, so I can't be involved in any financial decisions.
I don't get to talk about the money. All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable authorization for a payment dated December 11th, 2025 in the amount of $603,041.47.
So moved.
Thank you, Linda. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sam. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain?
Thank you, Eric. I'll entertain a motion to approve the school payroll dated November 26, 2025 in the amount of $663,399.57. Elena, do you have a copy of the agenda to get those numbers? You don't? Okay, great.
Good.
So moved.
Thank you, Linda. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sam. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain?
Thank you, Eric. I'll entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable authorization for payment dated November 26, 2025 in the amount of $508,799.05.
So moved.
Thank you, Linda. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sam. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain?
Thank you, Eric. I'll entertain a motion to approve the school payroll dated December 24th, 2025, in the amount of $676,128.05.
So moved.
Thank you, Linda. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sam. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Thank you, Eric. I will entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable authorization for payment dated December 24th, 2025 in the amount of $354,160.81.
So moved.
Thank you, Linda. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sam. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Thank you, Eric.
I was just preparing for G.
That's okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve this year's ELF grants. Okay. I will entertain the following motion. Jesus God. Motion to approve the acceptance of funds in the amount of $37,715 from the Easthampton Learning Foundation to be used to support the awarded projects.
So moved.
Thank you, Linda. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sam. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, so we have G, H,
Yeah.
I, and K.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the November 18th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sam. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the January 2nd, 2026 meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Linda.
Get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sam. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the December 9th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sam. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the out-of-state field trip request by Mountain View Schools to Connecticut Science Center on June 3rd, 2026.
Super fun.
Thank you, Linda.
May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sam. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, I'm just gonna highlight the next 4 meetings moving forward. So we'll be meeting on January 27th, February 10th, March 10th, and the budget hearing will be March 24th. Additionally, I want to let the public know that the school committee will be meeting this Saturday for a school committee retreat. It is a public meeting, so if you want to watch, I don't know why you would, but maybe you would, we'll be back there learning about everything from financing to open meeting laws and practices of evaluating a superintendent. It's gonna
super
be
fun.
9 to 1.
gripping.
I thought it was team bonding and spa day.
And also eyebrow threading. I don't know. Okay.
Laura, can I just
Yes.
say one quick thing? So I wasn't able to be at the reorg meeting on January 2nd after y'all were sworn in because I went down with the flu, which was terrible. But if I had been at that meeting, I had thoughts that I had wanted to share about what I wrote them, the hopeful chair in my mind of our school committee. And I just have to make a short statement. I really do. It's very important. Okay, so I will keep it short and I will not go on too much because Laura hates that. But the responsibilities of the chair of any committee, but of the school committee in particular, are enormous. That's standard, right? It's just a huge responsibility and requires a lot of background work that is entirely invisible. And that's just like in regular, everyday chair life. But Laura goes so far above and beyond. It's hard to put into words exactly to describe the time that she puts in, the organization, the thoughtfulness. There's the tasks of school committee, but then the emotional and mental load of all of this, and the toll or sort of the cost that she is willingly taking on her, her family life, her personal life, her professional life. I wanted in that meeting to say that it's so appreciated from the bottom of my heart. And really, I do think this committee and this district and our city owes you a debt of gratitude. If I could show you a schedule of what Laura does on a daily basis to make this all run smoothly on her side, it's really, I was gonna say that and then say, I hope you are willing to do it again for 2 more years. And it turns out that everyone agreed with that. So
Well, that's good. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Megan. I think we're done with that.
Truly incredible human.
Yes. I love this work. This is great work, everybody. Nobody feel bad for me. I did this to myself. And I love it. And you're a great group of people, and it's a pleasure every day. And I
And the
don't
way she
do-
takes care of her members.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah. We also have a phenomenal secretary.
Yeah. Yeah, and thank you for being secretary. It just, and the way that you take care of your members. I mean, you actually consider us, like you will call us your members and you take care of us and protect us and be the lightning rod whenever possible. So I just,
thank you, Megan.
You should be acknowledged for that.
You get one a term.
Okay. Okay, I will do it again for 2 years.
Thank you so much. All right, that was intensely uncomfortable, everyone. Okay. So we are going to be moving into executive session. I am going to move into executive session. Just for the viewers at home, what's going to happen is this. We're going to move from this public session into the back room to discuss something related to collective bargaining, so it can't be discussed publicly. We're going to be adjourning the meeting from back there. So this little clip right now is the last you will see of us tonight. We will be back on January 27th. So I will entertain a motion to move into executive session for per Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, Number 2, to conduct collective bargaining session with the EEA Teachers Association.
Second?
I need a so moved.
Oh, so moved, sorry.
Okay, can we, let's one more time
let's
for
do
the
it one
cheat
more
sheets.
time, okay.
Okay, I'll entertain that motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Linda. Can I get a second? Thank you, Sam. So we are gonna go back there. Good evening, Easthampton. Mic's off on the table, everybody, before you get up.